Hey guys, Zangetsu 134 here, bringing you another My Hero Academia vlog. This time for season 3, episode 5. And this episode is more or less the beginnings of the fights that we will be seeing throughout the rest of the training camp / villain attack arc. First off, being the fight between Mandalay and Tiger against Magni and Spinner, and then Tetsu, and I think her name, I forget her name, but it's I'm getting the phone call. All right, I don't know what that was about, but it wasn't anything important. But anyway, I can't remember her name. It's a good thing I have my computer open, so I can just look up characters. Because the girl with the big hands, more or less, is her name, or is her quirk. And shouldn't be. Kendo. I always forget her name, and I feel bad because she's probably one of my favorite members of that, besides Tetsu and the vine chick. I really liked her quirk, the chick with the vines for hair. I think she had a really neat quirk. It's kind of a shame that I don't think she really shows up after the Force training camp arc, like most of Class 1B, except for like Tetsu and Kendo and Monoma, which... the less said about Monoma, the better. So yeah, and it's mainly those Tetsu and Kendo versus Mustard and Aizawa, and his battle against Dabi, or rather a clone of Dabi. And we get introduced to Twice, whose ability is he can clone things with his quirk, hence why he's called Twice. So yeah, this is more or less just how it went in the manga, particularly Tetsu's fight with Mustard, or Tetsu and Kendo versus Mustard, which is the larger part of the three fights. Is really the fight between Spinner, Magni, the Wild Pussycat cat duo, and Midoriya is more or less just there to have a battle going on while Midoriya tells Mandalay to to give the message. Aizawa wanted him to give, as well as warning everyone that Bakugo is a target of the villain attack. Which, we also see set up for the next episode, which is the stuff with Moonfish, Bakugo, Todoroki, and the going berserk Tokoyami. Which, to be fair, is probably one of the episodes I've been looking forward to the most outside of Midoriya's fight with Muscular, because it's probably one of the bigger highlights of this little arc before we get into the more important stuff of the next arc. So yeah, my thoughts. This is a good episode. It's very much just set up for the most part, except for the fight with Tetsu and Koda against Mustard. But I think it's really good. I really like the designs for the gas. I like the fact that it's like this purple haze kind of. It's the purple haze, Jimi Hendrix. Clearly, someone's a fan of it. And I like Mustard as like a simple one-shot villain. He's a middle schooler who knows these kids. While his quirk is not super amazing. I mean, granted, it is knocking the kids out, and could be lethal if they're staying it too long. But he uses the gas to his advantage because he can sense things in the moving around in the gas, and so he has a handgun on him so that he could shoot people, which is probably what the most hilarious thing in this, because outside from like the cowboy teacher from UA, whose quirk is clearly based around being able to hit things with his gun. It's kind of lame to use a gun, and it's kind of hilarious that way. Because like no one uses weapons in this show unless like their quirk allows them to be really good with it, or they can create weapons like Yaoyorozu. Otherwise they mainly just rely on their quirks and combat based solely around their quirk. You're not going to see Midoriya wielding like a mallet or some sort of heavy weapon while using One for All, he's mainly going to rely on his physical abilities. You're not going to see Todoroki make like a gun, or like Todoroki use a gun when he can melt someone's face with fire. That'd be like Bakugo using grenades. Oh wait, he actually has grenades on his outfit that he stores his sweat in, which is so gross, but that's his quirk, so it's at least useful. So yeah, I really like the fight between those three. It's very well animated for the fact that it's kind of a minor fight. But I mean, granted, it's important to the plot. It's one of the big facets of the Vanguard's attack. But yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of a setup episode. I really like a lot of the moments. I like Aizawa trying to soothe Koda. I love Aizawa's battle against Dabi, especially when he threatens to break every bone in his limbs to get why the Vanguard force is attacking. But yeah, no, I think it's very interesting, and it's a good fight. And I like seeing Aizawa basically be Batman, because more or less Aizawa is Batman. I liked his interactions with Dabi, but that's mostly because Dabi's like one of my favorite members of the Vanguard task force. Aside from Compress and Togata, which I think next episode we're also going to be getting more of Togata's encounter with Ochako and Uraraka and Siu, which I'm really looking forward to, because I can't wait to see how freaky they make her in this. Sorry. But yeah, and I really, it's been over a week, so forgive me for doing that. I want my Avengers vlog to have a little more time, and also I've had not a lot of home time for me to do vlogs. But speaking of tomorrow, I'm gonna actually probably be doing both episodes of Build. I'm gonna be watching them after I get home from work, and I'm gonna do the vlog tomorrow morning so I can be caught up, because starting next week, I'm going to be reviewing DuckTales again, and I'm going to be doing the first 2 episodes that premiered. I know that I probably should have done that last weekend, but I haven't even had time to watch it. I'm getting this out of the way because I've watched it already. But yeah, all in all, it's a good episode. It's very much just set up for the fights that are going to be happening. Like, for instance, Bakugo and Todoroki against Moonfish is more or less just a brief snippet to show you what's going to be happening next episode. In fact, I think that's also true of Uraraka and Siu's encounter with Togata. Because more or less this episode's just about Tetsu and Kendo bringing down Mustard. But yeah, otherwise, I think it's a good episode. I'm probably keeping this a little bit short just because there's not really much to talk about. I do admit I like Spinner's voice actor, and I like that they kept in Spinner's. I mean, granted, I like that they. Well, maybe not like that they kept, but I think they got a good voice actor for Spinner. That he's very much, in a lot of ways, just a teenager who worships Stain. Because Stain has taught him, well, not taught him, but his ideals have made Spinner want to be a hero killer like him. And I like the fact that he's the reason how Midoriya is spared from getting attacked by Magni, because Spinner knows that Stain would want Midoriya to live. Which was interesting, and I would like to see Stain and Spinner meet, because it would be interesting, especially because I think Stain would be like, "No, you're a villain. Like, I may be a hero killer, but I don't. Villains are nothing. I don't deal. Oh wait, you spared Midoriya? Okay, maybe you're not all half baked. You went with some bad guys, but I think you and I could probably get along. I think it'd be hilarious to see Spinner and Spinner and Stain like out of prison, like going around. You know, him and his little lizard son. Don't talk to me and my lizard son ever again. Um, which fun fact, we never actually learn what Spinner's like quirk is, and before someone says his quirk is being a lizard man, while yes, that is a mutation, that's also not his power. Like, in fact, the wiki even states that we don't know what Spinner's quirk is. Just because they are mutated doesn't mean that that is their quirk. Some of them have quirks, even though they have mutations that make them look different. For instance, Ashido, while yes, she has horns and pink skin and black pupils with gold irises, her quirk is acid. Like, mutations are just a side effect of people's quirks. Although my guess is maybe it's how he was able to keep that giant thing of blades and belts together that he called his sword. So, also I never realized how like Midoriya kicking the blades apart is actually a kind of hint that to Midoriya's fighting style. Because notice like he actually was managing to use his quirk pretty well, and he shattered through those without even like hurting himself. I'm pretty sure if his arms were still unbroken, like if he had shattered through those swords with his arms, he probably would have actually hurt himself a little, just from the fact that like shattering through a more or less a solid wall of metal would probably hurt him a little bit, even with 5% one for all. But then again, like it's kind of inconsistent how much power 5% of one for all is. Especially because, like, in the OVAs, I've seen him blast through, like, a solid wall of rock with it. So, who knows? So, yeah, all in all, I think it's a good episode. There's just some fighting stuff, stuff that more or less is just set up for what's to come in the next episode, and as this arc finishes up, which I think we've probably only got, like, 2 or 3 more episodes of this before we move on to the next arc in the season. But yeah. So that's gonna be it for this week's guys. I will try and be a little bit better. It's just because this month work's been kind of rough because I've had to take more shifts this month, but I'm hoping that I can do a little bit better. So next, come back tomorrow. I'm gonna review the next 2 episodes of Kamen Rider Build, episode I think 33 and 34. But otherwise, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm Zangetsu 134, and I will take care. See you all then.